YouTube, the first round of the Western Conference Play-In tournament is now over, with the Lakers beating the Pelicans 110 to 106 and the Kings eliminating the Warriors season 118 to 94. These were some absolutely crazy results. Awesome basketball games yesterday. If you guys have been following the channel, you guys know that I made a video yesterday predicting the entire Play-In tournament, and I'm happy to say I got both of these games totally wrong. I predicted the New Orleans Pelicans would beat the Los Angeles Lakers and move on to face the second-seeded Denver Nuggets, and I also predicted the Warriors to beat the Kings and eliminate them. None of that came true. In this video, I want to talk about those games. I also want to talk about what these two games mean for both losers and both winners in this situation. Let's get right into it, folks. So last night started with the Lakers-Pelicans game, and the Pelicans were actually favored to win that game, and I think many people are surprised that Zion Williamson maybe played one of the best games of his entire career, really showing up when his team needed him most. Unfortunately, towards the very end of the game, he left for the locker room with an injury. The Pelicans staff has been very vague about what the injury entails, saying something like it's a lower left leg injury, and his status for the next play-in game to determine the Pelican season is unknown. But Zion dropped 40 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists in that game against the Lakers, shooting 17 of 27 from the field. He was absolutely dominant on offense, basically unstoppable at that point. And I feel like if he didn't leave that game with the injury, I think the Pelicans would have won that game. The Lakers were really struggling to score at that point, and in the fourth quarter in general, they just didn't play very well offensively. And I think Zion playing the way he did for the rest of the game really would have propelled the Pelicans into that winning spot. Unfortunately, that's not how it went down for the Pelicans, but you have to give credit to the Lakers for handling business on the road and advancing right into the playoffs, where they will face the second-seeded Denver Nuggets. I will say it was a questionable decision made towards the end of the game for the Pelicans when Coach Willie Green decided to not play Brandon Ingram in those final minutes of the game. I don't know what that was about. Maybe it's a load management thing or a rest thing for his, previous knee injury, but it seemed kind of weird because the Pelicans were neck and neck with the Lakers, tied 99 to 99 at one point with like a minute left to go, and your second best player is sitting on the bench while your first player is in the locker room. I just feel like that's kind of a weird decision. I will say, like I said, it totally could be possible that they are taking precautions with his knee injury and have him on a minutes restriction, but maybe that's a mismanagement of the minutes for that restriction. I don't know. You guys can tell me if you know, but regardless, the Lakers move on and advance to the NBA playoffs in the Western Conference, playing the Nuggets. Like I said, let's talk about what that means for them. I actually think the Lakers playing the Nuggets is obviously the worst outcome they possibly could have wanted, because while you do need to advance to the playoffs and they had to win that game, they couldn't rest their players and lose on purpose to try to fight into a different seed and play the Thunder or whatever, but you have to win that game with your season on the line. But I will say that is the worst team they could have faced off against in the first round, because Denver has the Lakers number. Denver has everyone's number. They are the best team in the NBA, in my opinion, other than the Boston Celtics. Best team in the Western Conference, and I expect them to make quick work of the LA Lakers in the first round. So while the Lakers did save their season, they got a tough road ahead if they want to advance to the conference finals or anywhere close to that. They're going to have to go through Jokic. On the flip side of that, the Pelicans will face the Sacramento Kings with their season on the line, and I think it's going to be a really tough game for them, especially if Zion is out. I don't expect them to win that game. The Kings looked really locked in and really good last night against the Warriors. They just took care of business. They came out there, they didn't waste any time getting to where they wanted to, and really just dominated the Warriors pretty much from start to finish, in my opinion. But the Kings are a real problem. They play a really fast-paced brand of basketball, similar to the Warriors style of basketball. They have much different players and roster than the Warriors, and roles for each player, but I think at their best, they are a fast-paced, run-and-gun, offensive-minded, getting points on the board in a hurry kind of team. And like I said, they are very good at that, because when they're all rolling and clicking offensively, they're a really tough team to stop and put away in a playoff situation. They can get hot and get going and drop a 15-0 run in a hurry, like I said. So I think the Pelicans are gonna have a really tough time against a team like Sacramento. They play a little bit slower, especially without Zion. They're gonna have to play a lot slower, so it's gonna be interesting to see. I predict the Pelicans to come out of the game if Zion plays. If Zion doesn't play, I think the Kings take that game in advance and play the Thunder in the first round of the 2024 Western Conference playoffs. I will say it's just really unfortunate to see the Zion injury, because he was absolutely hooping last night, proving a lot of people like myself wrong who had doubts about him in a situation like this. Dude just came out and dominated and didn't care about anything. Like he was locked in, man. This was a different Zion than I've ever seen, and I think a lot of other people have seen. So props to Zion for putting a good season together, a healthy season, and really showing interest in competing and winning at a level we haven't seen from him before. So like I said, props to Zion. Now let's talk about the Warriors-Kings game. The Warriors-Kings game was insane. I actually predicted the Warriors to win that game, like I said, and they came out a little flat. Klay Thompson 0 of 10 from the field, dropped 0 points in that game, 0 free throws. Really disappointing game from Klay Thompson, especially if you're a Warriors fan. I could see how a lot of people think that Klay Thompson is going to be on a different team next year and the Warriors core is going to be broken up. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that in the future, but for now it looks that way. It looks like this core of this team team's gonna be shaken up quite a bit. It's probably gonna be Curry and Kuminga and a lot of these younger role players, and that's about it as far as who you would expect to be on the Warriors roster next season in 2025. But Klay Thompson will be an unrestricted free agent, I believe, so it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens with that. Unfortunate if you're a Warriors fan that, you know, your dynasty core has been aging and kind of regressing, and now it's gonna be broken up. But maybe it is the best thing for Curry to get some fresh new teammates and, you know, get that energy back to where it was when they were at their peak in dynasty form. But Klay Thompson, 0 points, massive disappointment. The Warriors, honestly, as a team, just didn't play well offensively. They really struggled at times to find a good shot. This year just wasn't their year, in my opinion. They, you know, they weren't gonna make it very far anyway if they, you know, beat the Kings. So at the end of the day, I think the Warriors gave it their all, but the result is not so consequential for me because I don't think the Warriors were making it anywhere near, you know, the conference finals or anything like that. So just a tough situation to be in. But like I said, the Kings, I mentioned this in yesterday's video, they were going for blood in that game. You know, they really wanted a revenge thing because the Warriors knocked them out of the playoffs last year. They had a hard-fought 7-game series last year. The Warriors ended up getting the best of them. Steph Curry really carrying that Warriors team, elevating them to the second round where they would lose to the Lakers. But the Kings were going for blood. They had home court. The crowd was going crazy in Sacramento. They lit the beam. It was nuts. The energy was so good in that building. But I want to talk about, you know, some excellent play from guys like Keegan Murray last night, who dropped 32 points on 10 of 20 from the field with 8 of 13 from 3. He had 9 rebounds as well. Dude was absolutely hooping. He was just making threes left and right, coming off screens, hitting them on the move, catch and shoot. He was just balling out. Was really the best player in that game, in my opinion. Harrison Barnes played well, 3 of 4 from 3, 5 of 11 from the field, 3 assists. Sabonis did his thing, you know, 16 of 12 and 7 assists. De'Aaron Fox was pretty good as well, about what you'd expect from him in a game like this. But the big guy I wanted to mention for this game was Keon Ellis, the second-year guard out of Alabama. This dude is an absolute dog of a role player. He is really solid, and I think he's going to earn a multi-year contract very soon because his role on the Kings has been so good. And last night he was all over the floor. Defensively, he's a menace. He gets after the ball. He disrupts on ball, off ball, denial off ball is really good. He can actually shoot the three really solid for, you know, a defensive minded guard. He actually really had a great season for Sacramento, shooting 41 from 3 and really stepping up with guys like Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter being down for parts of the season. So Keon Ellis is a really intriguing player for me. If you're Sacramento, you got to lock this guy down. But like I said, last night he was one of the more impactful players. Dude was locked in, hounding the ball defensively. Had 3 blocks, 3 steals, 3 of 4 from the 3-point line, 5 of 8 from the field. Like, he was just so impressive to me. Him and Keegan Murray to me were the big X factors in that game, and I think they will be the X factors of this team moving forward with the final game of the play-in tournament coming up and the rest of the playoffs. So if they make it that far, but I'm just saying Keon Ellis is so underrated as a role player. I really liked him all season, and he just came in and absolutely poured his heart out in that game, played his tail off, and I think he deserves a lot of credit and respect, especially doing it on a national stage where everyone can see. He definitely has my respect now, and like I said, if you're Sacramento, this is a guy that you really want to lock down for a multi-year extension, and he could end up being one of the more valuable role player guards in the entire league because he really is a great defender and a really versatile two-way player. Really loved the performance from Keon Ellis. Really stood out to me in that Sacramento Warriors game. You know what, like I said, I was wrong about both the games yesterday. I'm happy about it because now hopefully I get all my wrong picks out of the way last night so that tonight I get all the right picks with my Sixers playing the Heat, and that's who I picked in yesterday's video, my Sixers to come out of this game and face the New York Knicks in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And I really hope that comes true because if it doesn't, we're kind of, you know, we're in a tough spot. So I really need that pick to be true. I really need those to be the 2 games that I got wrong yesterday throughout the entire play-in. Everything here has to be right. I'll be making a video tomorrow addressing the 2 games tonight. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys don't want to miss that, because I'm gonna be breaking down the Sixers Heat game. I'm gonna be watching it closer than I've ever watched the game before. So I can come on and record this video tomorrow and share what I think with you guys. Hopefully they win and I'm in a great mood. If they lose, I'm gonna be in a pretty bad mood, and it's probably gonna be more entertaining that way, unfortunately. But I need a win from the Sixers tonight. I think they have such a high ceiling in the playoffs so they can get past the Heat tonight, and hopefully that comes true. I can't wait to talk about it tomorrow either way. I'm gonna have a very strong feeling either way about what happens, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Don't miss that. We're gonna be making videos like this every single day on the channel during the playoffs, play-in tournament, off season. Olympics are coming up. They just announced the roster. I want to talk about that quite a bit on the channel. So if you guys don't want to miss any NBA news or updates or drama or off-season stuff or just playoff updates, you know, I'll be uploading every day throughout the playoffs. Like I said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Drop a like on the video if you guys enjoyed it. It really helps out the video, helps out the channel. Make sure you guys let me know down in the comment section who you think is going to win tonight between the Heat and my Sixers, and also the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks as well. What do you think the Lakers ceiling is in the playoffs? Do you think they can even get a couple games on Denver in a 7-game series? Not so sure. I think it's gonna be a 6 or 5 game series. The Lakers they just aren't on Denver's level comfortable, and honestly, not a lot of teams are, but Lakers definitely not. Who do you think wins the next Western Conference play-in game, the final one, to determine whether or not the Pelicans or Kings advance to the playoffs to play the Thunder? Who do you think wins that game? I personally have the Kings if Zion's out, and if Zion plays, I have the Pelicans, but let me know down in the comment section. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your day today. I just want to talk about this play-in stuff. It's really exciting to me. I just love basketball, man. And hopefully your favorite team wins their next NBA game. And if your favorite team isn't in the playoffs, hopefully you guys make a lot of moves in the offseason to get into a position where you can make the playoffs next year. I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is your boy DeHave, and as always, peace.